Lydia Timms,
Yes.
how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. My name is Kristen. I'm a student physical therapist at Anderson University, and I'm going to be working with you today doing a couple tests. Before we get started, is it okay if I call you Lydia?
Yeah.
Alright. So what we're going to be doing is 4 different tests. A couple of them are going to be with your wrist. One's going to be on a nerve that kind of runs up your arm to your neck. And then the last one we're going to do is assessing some mobility in your spine. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah.
Alright, great. So for this first one, Lydia, it's called the Cozen's test. And we use this test to see if anybody has lateral epicondylitis. So basically this, a lot of your muscles that help extend your wrist attach right here in your elbow. So we're just going to be assessing that. This one has 2 parts. So if you just want to, I'm just going to support your arm here. Just feeling for the lateral epicondyle. Any pain with that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Alright. Lydia, if you don't mind making a fist for me. Good. And then you're going to bring your wrist back. And then we're going to bring it just like that. So she's in wrist extension, a little bit of radial deviation and pronation. Alright, Lydia, I want you to resist me. Do not let me push your wrist down, okay? Hold that. Good. Any pain with that?
No.
Alright, so that was a negative test. If she would have had pain, especially in that lateral epicondylar region, that would be a positive test, but she was good. The second part, Lydia, is more of a stretch. So again, I'm just going to come right here. Feel for that lateral epicondyle, good. So again, you're going to have a fist. I'm just going to take you passively, so just relax. We'll take her in wrist flexion, and now Lydia, I'm just going to slowly straighten your elbow out. Any pain with that?
No.
Good, and you can relax. So again, this was a negative test. If it was positive, she would have had pain, again in that lateral epicondylar region with that stretch. But that was good. Alrighty, Lydia, the next test we're going to be doing is a wrist palmar glide. And basically this is just assessing kind of the quality of movement in your wrist, especially when you go to bend your wrist back like this. So for this, if you don't mind, I have a towel here. If you'll put your forearm right there. And this is used for patients when they lack extension, range of motion. So what's happening here is the radius forms a concave surface and the carpal bones are convex. So when they move into extension, carpal bones are going to roll dorsally and then glide palmarly. So we're trying to get that palmar glide to help stretch that anterior capsule. So Lydia, if it's okay, I'm just going to have my hand right here, stabilizing on the radius, and then I'm holding onto the carpal bones. Her wrist is in neutral, and then I'm just going to be pushing down, okay? You let me know if you have any pain. So I can start off with just a gentle grade 1 to 2, getting her used to it. We use this in treatment for pain, but what I'm going for here is really a grade 3 movement, so I'm just going to do a little more pressure, Lydia. And this is assessing that infield. And her infield is firm, which is normal, so you're good. Any pain with this, Lydia? Good. And what we can do is after you've done it, you can reassess that extension range of motion. That feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Alrighty, good job, Lydia. Alrighty, Lydia. The next test we're going to do is called a median nerve test. Basically, this nerve is going to start up at your neck, kind of runs down your arm, and even supplies your hand and fingers. Sometimes this nerve can get irritated, so we're just going to be stretching it today, seeing if that reproduces any of your symptoms. Sometimes it could be starting up at your neck, and then sometimes the irritation can be happening down at your hand, so we're just going to see. You can try a couple different positions, okay? Any questions for me?
No.
Alright. Like I said, this does become irritating, so at any point you have any pain, numbness, tingling, you let me know, okay?
Okay.
So first for this test, I'm going to come right here on the shoulder and then depress and retract the shoulder. Then I'm just going to take your arm now, and we're going to bring your arm a little less than 90 degrees of abduction. This is usually a little more tolerable for the patient, so we'll start here. Her elbow's going to be extended. And then I'll slip down now and support that elbow. Her wrist is extended, and then the fingers are extended. Any pain so far, Lydia?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do a little overpressure now. You still okay?
Yep.
Alright, if you don't mind, since you're not having any pain with this, you can rotate your head and look towards that wall and also kind of bring your ear to that shoulder. Any pain with that? Tingling?
No.
We're going to hang out here just for a couple seconds. Sometimes nerves have a more latent period where they might be irritated, but you're still okay?
Yeah.
Alright, you can come back. So this would be a negative test. This did not reproduce any pain or cause any numbness or tingling, so everything was good. Any questions, Lydia?
Nope.
Alright, good. Alrighty, Lydia, for this last test, we're going to do what's called thoracic springing. And basically, I'm just going to be having you lay on your stomach. I'm going to be putting some pressure down in your spine, kind of in the mid area, mid back. We basically use this to assess for general mobility of the spines. I'm going to be going at each segment. And if you have any areas that don't move as well or are hypomobile, we can direct treatment there and just kind of help restore that range of motion in that area. Does that sound okay to you?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, if you don't mind taking your shirt off and lay down right here. Are you comfortable?
Yep.
Alright, so I have her laying on a pillow just to help keep the kyphotic curve in her spine, so that's good. I'm going to palpate, Lydia, your 12th rib and follow it. So I know that I'm on T12, and then I'm just going to drop on each side and be on the transverse processes and use my other hand. I'm just going to be applying pressure, Lydia, okay?
Okay.
And then we're just going to work our way up the spine, assessing each segment. So far we have firm infield. Right about here, I'm starting to feel it's a little tighter or less mobile, so I have to keep that in mind because we'll come back to that. And there's another one, so those two segments for sure. Good. You still feeling okay?
Yep.
Just a couple more. Last one. Good. So I had a firm infill all throughout, and like I said, right about T7, T8, there was some hypomobility, so now we're going to turn this into our treatment. So we can do a mobilization. Basically do the same thing, but do a little more pressure, doing about grade 3, and just repeating this 3 sets of 10 usually. Taking rest between. Is that okay, Lydia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll do one more. You still okay?
Mm-hmm.
Again, ideally you want to do about 3 sets of 10, but for the sake of the video time, we'll just do 2. Alright? And now I'll just kind of go and reassess, kind of compare it to above and below. And here we are, and it does have a little bit more mobility in that area, but again, this would be something you could continue in each of your treatments. Alright, does that feel okay, Lydia?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you can go ahead and sit up for me. Do you have any questions for me, Lydia?
I don't think so.
Alright, I'll let you get your shirt on. Alright, well, if you don't have any questions, it was a pleasure working with you, and I'll see you next time, okay?